Struggling Aussie parents. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance about, well, Aussie parents, the financial burden faced by Aussie parents. Now, for those of you that aren't aware, I am a father of 6. We think it's something in the drinking water. We're trying to figure it out, but still. So we've got a lot of kids. Wasn't planned this way. I was an only child. So you can imagine my mother telling her friends, oh yeah, I've got 6 kids, 6 grandkids, all to one child. So she's getting a damn good return on investment right there. That's what you want. Anyway, let's check this out. So the financial burden faced by Aussie parents. It's not just the cost to raise a child that has Aussie parents suffering. It's their ability to save. I was thinking the other day, just all of these incidental costs, because, kids don't cost as much as you think. Now, we are doing things differently. We work from home. We have our own business, so we've got that flexibility, and we also homeschool. So before I came here, it's a Saturday, I was playing some computer games, so was my son, and then we went and did a reader together. He's learning how to read, and Rachel's taken the lead of that, so it was, I wanted to see how he was going, and he's doing quite well. But it means we've got homeschooling costs, but we don't have all those school costs. And I'm not just talking about private school, even public school. The travel every day, an hour to and from school. It could be a bit less, but when you add it up, that's that's a big chunk of time that you have to devote just to traveling. We don't have that anymore, and it's fantastic. You'd be amazed how much time that eats up. And that also adds to the cost. That's petrol all the time. My petrol bill now, I don't even pay attention to it because I work from home. Now we're in the future. We have Zoom meetings. So I just go to site every now and then. It's awesome. So let's check about what they're saying here about the parents' ability to save. Now, you've got to squirrel away as much as you can, just a little bit here and there, and it can add up. It may not feel like a lot, but it can. That was what I was doing with my micropayments off the mortgage, $5 here. Literally, this is going to sound terrible. I would save all of the nails and scrap metal and garbage from my house when I was demolishing it. Because, you're pulling it apart. You need to make it safe when you throw it in the tip. Had a big big bucket full of all this metal. I'd take it to the scrapyard on my way to buying a 7-Eleven coffee, and I'd get some money for it. And I would instantly put that off the mortgage. And scrap iron, you got bugger all. But it was more the point of it. I'm kind of getting over doing that now, but the demo stage is over. Copper. Now, copper's good. I'm not looking forward to paying to put new copper in the house. But anyway, so while it's hard to put a price on the miracle of bringing new life into the world, there is an obvious financial difference between Aussies with kids and those without, according to new data. Finder's Cost of Living report found that Aussies with kids, on average, had $28,000 stashed away in the bank, while those without kids had a more hefty $35,000 to their name. Yeah, that's, probably just harder to save because you've got all of these costs for kids. Parents who reported the volume of their savings in Finder's Consumer Sentiment Tracker tend to have less money in the bank than non-parents. This is most likely due to extra expenses associated with raising children, as well as time out of the workforce to care for them, the report said. Our research found 87% of parents have had to reduce their spending on at least one expense due to the increased cost of living. Or it could also be you're just growing up and you know what's important. You're not going out, hopefully you're not going out drinking every week, boozing up when you've got a family. You kind of, need to spend time with your family. That's kind of really what kids just want. This is compared to 74% of consumers without children. Yeah, well, I'd say maybe you don't grow up until you have kids. Maybe you don't know what life is really about until you have someone else that's completely responsible, that you're completely responsible for, someone who's completely dependent on you. That's a boomer take if I've ever had one. So what can be done to ease the burden? An overwhelmingly popular opinion is for childcare to be made cheaper or even free. We looked at childcare. Because when we had our first order, we had an office out at Yeronga. We were underneath a little commercial shopping center, which actually was funny. I went from the back of a warehouse where I was paying 45 grand a year for rent to this little shop front where I was getting for about 25 grand a year. But because it was retail, they wanted me to jump through all of these hoops to get the lease, to make sure I could afford it and all this stuff. And I'm going, it's costing me less to go here. I'm saving money. Just shows you the environment. So, childcare, yes, we went through there, and I just was looking at it. You know, they had this little outdoor play area, and they had all this propaganda on the wall, and I'm thinking, why do I want to send my kid here when, you know, they can just stay in the office, play there? And, well, that's what we did. I didn't want to spend money on it either. So, I mean, childcare, it's the sad state is that nowadays both mother and father need to work to get ahead, to make ends meet. You can have one person only working, but you either need to earn good money or reduce your expectations for your quality of life. I would argue it's better to have one parent raising the kids, particularly in those really young years, because it's really important. And you should make that sacrifice and just give up on shit you don't need. But I don't think everyone is willing to make that. And, you know, my career and all that other rubbish. It's really sad when you see people like women in their 40s who can't have kids or missed out, and they focused on their career and then they get fired. No one gives a shit about their career. But I guess you only experience that firsthand with age. You know, the older you get, the more of this stuff you realize that the rhetoric is all bullshit, because you've seen how reality works out and what's important. And you can't really tell the young, can you? Because they think they know better. They don't realize we were them just a moment ago and have been through it all. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese proposed a childcare subsidy of 90% for all parents, no matter what their household income. Can you imagine that? That is just crazy. They should just allow businesses to provide nannies for kids in the office. This is an option that appears to be agreed upon by the majority of Aussies and could help to reduce costs and allow more parents to return to the workforce. This is the thing, yeah. They want you to work so that your kids are raised by the childcare. And what's the childcare teaching your kids? Everything that the government dictates. Maybe this is why we've got a whole generation that think the world is coming to an end in, I think, 3 months now, according to Greta, or 2 months now. Because they just fed this shit from the very beginning. We did go to kindergarten. That was more expensive than actual school, kindergarten. More expensive than some of the uni subjects I did. And it was only for 3 days a week. They made you go there to do chores and stuff, to be the little yard bitch. So, yeah, I'm frustrated with it. So, yes. I'm probably the only parent that doesn't think childcare should be free. I'd say deregulate the industry, reduce the regulation. But that's not a popular opinion, is it? Finder data found that an extension of free childcare, it's not free. Okay, no. Government funded, so tax funded. Your taxes are going to be diverted to this. So what do you want to give up? Defense, education, you want to cut the pension to pay for this? What are you going to do? Welfare is the biggest component of childcare. What are they going to do? Was supported by 70% of Australians. Almost 80% of millennials believe this would significantly reduce the financial stress for families with young children. Wow. We're screwed. Australia's screwed. Oh, shit. Shit. People just want the freebies, don't they? They don't get it. Nothing's free. So what you'll do is you'll get the free childcare, and then your kids... your kids will be the one working to pay off the debt. They won't be able to afford a house. They won't be able to afford shit because they'll be, their taxes will be a greater burden on them. All the perks and benefits you have will disappear. Just look at the previous generation. Look at all the civil servants that got guaranteed bloody super payments regardless of their contribution. It's just such bullshit. Finder's RBA cash rate survey also showed overwhelming support among economists for an extension of free childcare. But one of the experts believed extending free childcare would significantly reduce all but one. Yeah, okay. So one realized we shouldn't have it. Maybe the only sensible economist in the list. So let's have a talk about this one, guys. I mean, free childcare, free anything, free, is a vote winner. Everyone's going to say, yeah, I want that, free childcare, fantastic. It's the middle class pushing for more free handouts, isn't it? I don't know. What do you reckon, guys? What do you think? You know what I would love? I would love the education funding that kids get through schooling is attached to the child. So if you just happen to be homeschooling your kids, you get that $20,000 per child to spend directly on what you want related to their education. Or if you go to school, it goes to that school, so they have to compete for it. Wouldn't that be great? And then maybe teachers wouldn't be locked in the schooling system. They could provide work as an independent private tutor that you could hire. That would be innovative. Maybe we need to look at things like that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. What do you reckon? Do you think, it's such a strain to raise kids that we need to have more handouts for people? Just allow families to divvy up the tax. If you're a married couple, go back to the old ways of, you got the wife staying at home, tax gets divided in two. You got so many dependents, divide it by them. Allow that. That'll make a big difference right there. But, I don't think that'll win as many votes now. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Check out Heise Does and Heise BIM. And if you're a fan and want to support the channel, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.